Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So I'm gonna now make that beef short ribs. So I always get this from from one of the should I take their name? Is it gonna be like advertising for them? It's Creekstone, but the reason I get it because it's kosher meat. It's basically slaughtered and the blood is let, and it's a prime meat, so the meat quality is very good. So I'm gonna just make these two racks, and I'll tell you about the cleaning and also about then the cooking as well. So one of the other thing is to remember that as compared to brisket, ribs usually can get done in 5 hours or even sometimes under, depending on how soft you want the ribs to be. So this pack usually comes up with 2 ribs stacks. You can see very good amount of meat on these. And these are the short ribs compared to the back ribs. Usually the beef back ribs, because they remove the ribeye steak off of them, they're not that meaty, but I have some of those too, which I make as well. They are different taste wise. Some people, for example, my wife, mashallah, who's making the video, she I think prefers the brisket and then the back ribs because they're not as fatty. I like these the short ribs because they are a lot more meaty, and I like the flavor of it as well. So if you can look, if you look at the meat, if you see the striations, that basically tells you this is the prime meat, and there's a lot of good fat. It's going to taste inshallah very well. Then a lot of people will remove some of this fat off. You can see it these are really fatty ribs. I would remove maybe a little bit of it, but I don't remove a lot of this because I like the fat. Usually this fat is just like the ribeye fat, that this will in fact melt off as well. So I just took it off from the refrigerator, and now I'm going to take the most important part in cleaning of this. In fact, it's not just that it's fat, but it's in fact to remove the membrane that is on this inner side, on the bone side, which is basically, I think it's the parietal pleura. So this I have to say what it is, but this layer does not get cooked, and this will in fact cause it will be chewy. You won't be able to eat it. So you want to remove this. So the easiest thing that I've seen is people use pliers, things. This was actually shown to me by my pulmonologist friend, Dr. Sohail Kader, and I really like this, that he uses like a paper towel or something and starts to peel it off nicely on one end, usually the smaller side of the rib. This is very helpful and handy, especially if you're doing the back ribs, because the back ribs have a lot of there's a lot of bone in the curved bone where it meets the vertebral bodies. So it basically, you have to be recognizing that you're removing it well. So this one usually is not that difficult, but just because sometimes I may just peel this off if I'm a little impatient to get it. So what makes it easy is that if you try to keep the whole layer together when you're removing it. So I think this one is. So every time there's a cut, it will break, but you want to keep it together, because if you do this, it will make your life a lot easier. So just because there was a cut here, it just came off. If you start to feel like that you're leaving some, you may have to just go back and maybe peel it off. This is almost like dissecting, like, you know, the tissue itself. There we go. Got it. And we got this off. Okay, just to make the video, like, you know, time effective, I'm gonna remove this on off of the video, and then I'll show you how to then do the rub on it.